friends. Hello. Welcome back. All right. Oh, Lenny and Stan. What's up, fellas? Where have I been? Last week, all my streamed workouts were done in Seattle with Mr. Brandon Campbell. I've got some footage that I'm going to be getting up there pretty soon. So, Brandon, fake plates. I wish even more. I was pretty darn happy with how some of those lifts went. I'm excited to share them with you guys. But it was a good week over at Seattle Strength and Power. How you guys been? Sorry for not being around. You bought some new straps, or you're saying I went and got some? I definitely didn't get some. Silly boys. Gotta get big. Ben, hello. All is well. Definitely looking forward to seeing you at Nats as well, brother. How are things going with the coach? I know that was a change to get the programming from a coach. How's that going? Angelo, that's dope. Good to hear. You've been great. I've been college summer courses starting this week. Awesome. I mean summer courses, maybe awesome. You get to learn. That's an exciting thing. Always celebrate your opportunity to learn. Yeah, Tonka Tough Tim, hello. Welcome back. Tatsuyu Namsayan says hello. Hello, Namsayan. Howdy. Alejandro, hey, exactly. We back, boys and girls. Stan, let's talk about drug testing again for 2 hours. Oh man, let's not. Actually, I'm gonna try to be a good little Benjamin and move quickly and efficiently through this workout. We actually have a little bit less volume on little less volume on the deadlifts, so probably going to be able to move a little quicker. Big awesome, man. Your lifts blew up big time. Squats creeping on 700, bench at 440, and deadlift like 750? Dang. That's significant. That's exciting, man. Same body weight at 105. You should be at the World Championships right now with those kind of numbers. All right. Set number 1. Did I lift the bar? Just need to make sure I loaded it. I did. Creaky. Had 6 sets of 5 yesterday. Took a bit out of the old shoulders. Angelo's back to square one after a year of injury. Well, the coolest thing about square one is it's all forward from there. So that's an exciting time. I'll call that 6 minutes in. I think they'll probably start feeling a little better when I start moving a little bit. Kurt. Yeah, Eddie Hall winning that World's Strongest Man. I was a little bit surprised. I think Shaw took 3rd. Even more surprising to me. AWTBB Ben, what do you primarily attribute to your recent gains in the deadlift? Just I fixed the one misgroove that was happening on every pull I missed in the last 5 or 6 years, where my underhand would move forward. I fixed it by switching to the hook grip, and it evened up that problem. I don't pitch the bar forward anymore, and so I don't think. While I do think it's gotten stronger, we've been able to push it more because my lifts have been consistently better, so I have less misgrooved reps. I think that was a huge factor, that now the training we can get the most out of it, where before we were losing a lot. So get big. Yes, I do have a shoulder. I have the long-standing shoulder injury that I got when I was in high school. So I want to say 2007, maybe late 2006, early 2007, when I tore something in my shoulder, never got it fixed. Alex, hey Ben, my coach Mike T said I can still sink my benches, but in competitions I still get called for a heave. Can you explain the difference? How does Kelly Branton get away with huge sinking? The difference is if the bar continues to move after you've received the press command. So if you get a press command and you haven't gotten to the bottom of your sink, then the bar, you get the press command, the bar has downward movement, that's no lift. That's the difference. They'll call you for that as heaving because you're doing that versus there and then just going straight up with it. Lenny, your underhand was moving forward because you secretly want to curl, not deadlift, given your desires. We're not seeing the 135 curl tonight, Lenny. I'm sorry to disappoint. Baby, it seems that the case with a lot of people. Bryce, his deadlift was always big. Actually, he in the video where he talked about the hook grip, he actually linked my video about the hook grip. I remember talking to him, and he was one of the reasons I made the video about hook grip, because he was talking about wanting to start it. I think just objectively, if you're able to manage it, it ends up being just better for a lot of reasons. But it can take a real toll on the thumb. And so for some people, it just is not feasible to switch directly over to it. But I think that was the biggest issue, because I had this little, I call it a little nugget of inconsistency where I had the problem. Sam, you saw me with Papa Campbell. How is he in real life? Brandon's he's a fun dude, man. I really enjoy my time. That's because we hung out twice this week, and so we've hung out once before in person, but that's so 3 times now, and just overall, really chill dude, really friendly. I enjoy spending time with him. I would not have made 2 trips up to Seattle and back if I didn't genuinely enjoy hanging out and spending time with him. So he's a cool dude. I taught him all about Pokemon, and yeah, he's an awesome dude. I like him a lot. If you guys aren't familiar, go check out his channel. It's way bigger than mine, so you probably are. A little grimy still. We'll get there. We'll get there. Why do you think Brandon hid his middle name for so long? I don't know if Diamond's his actual middle name. Not sure. Get big. How's my deadlift been? Deadlift's been phenomenal. Actually, a video that I'm going to post up, hopefully finish editing it tonight and post it up tomorrow, is the time that Brandon and I spent down in Seattle. I did a Beltless 750 paused on a stiff bar, on the bar that I'm going to use at my next competition, actually. And with like 2, maybe 3 reps. No, definitely 2 or 3 reps left in the tank. It was one of the most incredibly easy, strong feeling deadlift sessions I've ever had in my life. So after 6 weeks of hitting 675 every single session, having that weight cap, and then I did 725 for a pause double beltless, which is a 10-pound PR plus a rep plus no belt. It was awesome. And then went 750 and didn't go over my RPE of at 7. So that was huge. Just been putting in the volume though otherwise, because that's definitely the heaviest pull that I will do before my next meet next month. So. Oh no, my clock is off. Lenny, do I think all federations should start using a deadlift bar? No. I like using the stiff bar. I like there being a separation, honestly, because I feel like it's a better I don't know. It's more about the strength, less about you're getting less out of the equipment, which I always think is kind of a cool thing. For like raw lifting, I really like that it's, you're using the same bar for all three. I can see the argument for the other one. If you want bigger numbers, pull on a deadlift bar. And I'm not opposed to it. I own a deadlift bar still, and I'm not saying I'll never go back and use one, but I don't know. Pulling on the stiff bar just makes everything feel more legit, and I might have a different opinion if there was a difference. So, Clicking TV, hey Ben, what's the point of those beltless deads I see on Instagram? How often are you train deads? I train deads twice a week, conventional the first time, and it has been pause deads. Now that we're technically like 4 weeks out, I'll switch and not have any pauses. Personally, I like the feeling of letting I feel more connected to my technique, I guess, when it's beltless. It keeps me more accountable. I have to be more intentional with my positions, and I can't get lazy and just kind of start slinging weight around. And I think, I don't know, there's conflicting research on it, honestly, where most of the research actually says it doesn't have any benefits in terms of core activation versus wearing a belt and activating against the belt. So I guess my opinion's more anecdotal than scientifically based on that. But yeah. The conventionals tonight will be beltless, but they're actually lighter than they were last week. I did 5 sets of 4 at 555, and it's only a 3x3 at 535 tonight. So this should go pretty quick. Stan, am I looking forward to watching Raw Worlds in a few weeks? I'm going to be lifting in the same day, actually. And who do I have winning the 105s? I'm friends with everybody who's competing. I don't know Christoph in person, but we are friends on Facebook. But I think that my my opinion is I want everybody there to have their best meet, and so everyone can walk away feeling like they gave their best, and whoever has the biggest total on the day, whoever's best is the best in the world, I think they should win. Big dude, that's awesome to hear. You said you had a bit of knee pain from the squats last time we chatted. Has it been feeling any better, impacted your training? I mean, it's less of a pain and more of just a nagging tightness right now, and I'm still working around it. But yeah, I wouldn't call it an injury because I'm still able to train through it, and I don't think it's going to really impact my ability to perform. And I've got still time before nationals to kind of work it out and figure out what I'm doing with my life. So, Tyler, obviously there are a million things that go into programming technique, but if you had to pinpoint one thing that's helped your deadlift progress recently, what would it be? If I had to pinpoint one thing, it's not misgrooving, not eliminating the misgroove that was common when I used an underhand. So, Lenny, it's not a long stream tonight. I'm planning on just kind of working through, getting the session done. I have still a lot of things I'm getting caught up on. As much fun as last week was, I wasn't able to get completely 100% caught up on all the things I need to keep working on. So I've got some other stuff going, and well, I'm guessing I'm trying to keep it at 2 hours. We're not doing another 5-hour stream. Maybe Saturday we can have some fun and do some stuff. Not 3 hours, Kurt. No. 2 hours is my goal. If we go over it naturally, we'll go over it. But if I'm done lifting in 2 hours, then we'll probably call it pretty quick after that. Stan, I'm doing a meet in Seattle, just a local meet to kind of shake some of the rust off, give me something in between the Arnold and Nationals, and yeah, just kind of reassess where things are at and stuff. That's all. All this stuff is future Ben's problems. Yeah, future Ben has some adulting that he needs to do though, and some big kid responsibilities. So, still trying to work on those things. Also gonna try and get us moved over to Twitch either on Saturday or by next Tuesday. So if you guys like the streams, want to keep doing it, make sure you join the Discord server because it should still send out a notification if I'm streaming on a place that's not necessarily YouTube. So. Feeling that back tightness a little bit from all the squats and pressing yesterday. At BB, you seem to be benching with your thumb on the rings. I cover the ring with that side of my hand, so that's allowed. I do not. I have what I would say is probably the legal maximum grip, without opening my hand sideways and doing what I think it's called the Jap grip. Apologies if that sounds offensive to anybody. It's just what it's called. Stand currently on the bench. I place the ring in the crook of my hand and cover it with my hand. Does the ring have to be completely covered? I've heard rulings in both directions on that. People saying that it has to be completely covered. At the Arnold, if you saw a side view of it, you'd be able to see the top of the ring uncovered, but none of the judges could feasibly see that, so I don't know how they'd enforce that the entire ring has to be covered, because none of the judge position from here, my hand would cover it, and from the sides, my hand would be covering it. So I don't think that, even if that was a rule, I don't know how they'd enforce it with normal judging placements. So that's not me like trying to like sneak around the rules. My interpretation of the rule book and just kind of common sense, I guess. Badussi Rampage 2010, this is cool. Well, I'm glad you think it's cool. I like doing these. I like hanging out with my friends online. Okay, so last set of regular bench, then a single Spoto Press. Oh, thanks, Lenny. Yeah, I actually forced myself to finally go through and get a haircut because when I trained with Brandon on Tuesday last week, my hair was still long and poofy and I had to wear a hat, and it got so hot in Seattle Strength and Power wearing the hat, I didn't want to have to do that again for Saturday's workout, which I actually did on Friday. So, this is the fastest you ever seen me get through sets? Well, I told you, Lenny, I'm a changed man. It was the hair. It's like opposite Samson. I had to get a haircut because it was slowing me down. The whole wind drag factor right now, more aerodynamic. You've changed, bro. You've really changed. Yep. On that new life thing. Well, I was planning on starting the stream much earlier, as I have a tendency to say on the streams. But I made the mistake of listening when my computer said, hey, you have an update. You want to do the update? I'm like, oh, sure. And at 3:45 it started, and it ended like an hour ago. So that was real frustrating. I was planning on starting closer to 4 or 5. But you live and you learn. No computer updates allowed on stream days in the future. Kurt knows I'm cutting. You start with the hair, go to the body fat. Definitely not cutting. Still have quite a bunch of weight that I still need to gain. Lenny, have you ever had a muscular injury where it feels like it's fully healed, but when you go to lift, you can tell it's not healed? My lower back has felt like that for 2 weeks. Yeah. I mean, in those cases, you just have to you have to wait until it feels healed. Work around it if you can. It's the slowest healing injury of your life. Well, maybe you really messed yourself up, Lenny. You got to give yourself time. Give yourself time. Be patient. If the slowest healing injury you've ever had has only taken 2 weeks to get where it's at, then that's pretty decent, actually. That's not too bad at all. So, Stan, why are my conventional deadlifts lighter than last week? No, it wasn't because they thought I'm under recovering. It's because we finally found a competition that I'm prepping for, and so my everything dropped down for my Monday and my Tuesday sessions, and most of the work is going to be going into the Thursday squats and the Saturday deadlifts. Just putting more effort into the heavy days and my volumes down lower, and these workouts are more kind of just get through them in one piece. Maybe that's one of the other reasons I'm moving through quickly, is because I'm feeling more recovered. I'm not carrying as much fatigue already because I dump fatigue really quickly. And my conditioning for heavy weights is much better than my conditioning for a lot of volume. Things like squatting. Last night I finished squatting in 45 minutes, where before that, the fastest I had possibly gone this entire training block was it took me an hour to go from empty bar to last set of squats done. And I finished in under 40 minutes last night and felt pretty good. So the power of volume manipulation. Get big. Ben, what are your goals for your next comp? As the best I can do on the day. What type of gains do you expect to make between meets? The best that I can. I'm not putting numbers in my own head right now. We're going to see where the prep leads, and then see how I'm feeling and do the best that I can. So, yeah. I don't know what I want to do for this top set, because on Tuesday last week, I did 355 for a really solid single. But at the same time, that was on a much better bench instead of my garbage bench. So that would probably... You know what? If I could match that on the crappy bench, that actually would be pretty good. No, Lenny, I haven't seen Interstellar. When Jess and I... because while I was up in Seattle, I did visit her for a little bit. And instead of Interstellar, we watched Don't Breathe, because she really wanted to see that, and she's already seen Interstellar, and so the only reason we'd be watching it is just to make you happy, and because eventually I want to see it. But I didn't want to watch a 3-hour movie when we didn't have a whole lot of time to hang out. So okay, stand the power of volume manipulation. That's a thing. I'm not wrapping. I can't wrap my wrist yet. Can't do it. Goodness. It would be pretty nifty to be able to match last week's single, because it was on an actual bench. Lenny, what's your girlfriend's opinion on Interstellar? I think she liked it, but it's a long movie. I think that's really where we're at with it. So if she didn't, you would... Well, good thing she's dating me, not you. thumb loops on top sets. My own rule. Hot mess off. Yeah, Lenny, the wrist wraps are not, I wouldn't say that they're helping my bench as much as they're preventative. Like, that's the biggest thing, is I'm not... Yeah, Lenny, I don't think the wrist wraps themselves do a whole lot in terms of like aiding in the lift, but it gives me one less thing to worry about. It helps to make sure that I'm not gonna experience wrist pain from doing crazy amounts of volume. Like, even with less volume, I still did 30 reps of bench press with 320 pounds yesterday. So that's just a lot of recurring volume on the connective tissue. So it's just to keep me from hurting myself through overuse and time. Get big. Your girlfriend's doing her first powerlifting meet in 3 days. Well, good luck to her. She's 52 kilos. Do you have any advice for her? Try and have fun. Try and have fun. You have all the time in the world later down the line to stress about numbers and worry about results and try to meet certain goals. But make the first one, try to enjoy it and find out how much you really care about the sport in terms of being a competitor. It should be fun. At least it should start out that way. So start it fun. Just worry about have her worry about having her best day. That is my advice. It's 22 minutes. Large African, can you whip out the alto real quick and hit me with some George Michael jam? Sorry, man. Maybe when we move to Twitch. We'll have some singing streams or something. Hello, CB. Excellent workout. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it so far. It's moving all right. A little grimy through some of the bench presses, but we did bump everything up 10 pounds this week. Sing some Weekend. You got a Hulu Plus free trial? See, I'm not messing with all with that, Lenny. I haven't turned on my Netflix since I moved. I have way too easy of a time consuming regular media through like YouTube and stuff. I'm not trying to add other things. So, just a quick little 3x3 with 10% less than the top single. First 2 reps should always feel not too bad, and then I always seem to like over relax on the 3rd rep when I have these, so we'll see. I'm still god awful at Spoto pressing. I never feel like I'm in a consistent spot, but that's okay. That's okay. See what I mean? 3rd rep always slows down. I do not know why. Dude, Hulu is great. I absolutely believe you. I believe Hulu is great. I believe it's so great that I would get stuck and not actually be doing things. Wow, great pick. DM us about being an athlete for our brand. Goodness gracious. That Instagram, though. LB, do you do singles at 8 throughout your training cycles or only do certain phases? Well, I do. I train the lifts so frequently throughout the week. A lot of singles at less than at 8, and then they get closer to at 8 as I approach a meet. So like my top singles for my deadlifts because I've been doing a single every week on my pause deadlift sets, usually on Saturdays or on Fridays if I have to mush workouts together. I haven't gone over at 6 except for this last week where we went at 7 and I pulled 750 Beltless with a pause, which was pretty high. I'm really excited. It's taken all the self-control that I've had to not just post up videos about that yet. But I wanted to get the live stream going first. So have a good night. Get big. Yeah, live streams every Tuesday and Saturday is the plan, except for last week because I was gone. But that's how we'll. And I guess on the 24th of June, I won't have a live stream here because I'll be competing. So, but good luck to your girl, man. Make sure that she's not worrying about a whole bunch of stuff during meet day. Tyler, Submax boys. Yep, all the Submax. Lenny, you have one lifting video on your Insta and you get all the dumb comments all the time. Yeah, I get a lot of guys. I get one guy in particular, and I can never like respond to his comments because like that's what he wants in the world, and it's just way more enjoyable to watch him like yell into the space. But I'm not tough. He thinks I'm not tough because when I deadlift, I'm using technique, and real tough men don't use technique because it doesn't show your strength if you're leveraging the bar up. It's probably my favorite Instagram comment. If you guys feel like seeing some fun Instagram shenanigans, check out my Instagram, and like the last 3 months, anytime I've posted a deadlift video, this guy goes and entertains me. So Supramax boys. Yeah, that's how you go. Supramax boys. Lenny knows. Only train at more weight than you can handle. How am I going to adapt if I'm always doing stuff that's less than I can do? Right? Duh. Yeah, maybe not the best approach, Len. Maybe you should take a sec. Oof, something popped. Whew. That'll wake you up. Yep, exactly, Lenny. I'm lifting the bar with my leverage instead of my spinal discs. Yeah, it was adorable. He told me that the only way that I could prove that I was tough enough is if I did a barbell hyperextension for max, and if I could beat him. That was it. People you go with to school have said that deadlifting is gay because your glutes are sore from them. Well, I mean, clearly, the way you choose to deadlift is the biggest indication of your sexual preferences. I'm pretty sure, scientifically speaking. Lenny, please go read those comments. They're amazing. They're amazing. I'm not upset. And he just goes on. He goes on. It brings me genuine joy, because then at the end of it, he tends to not like insult me. He tends to compliment me. It's really confusing and really entertaining. Zezus, hello, sir. Sup? Oh, just another session. Trying to move a little quicker today, though. Agreed, Lenny. Barbell lunges are great for getting the glute sores. That actually sounds kind of bad. If you're getting sores on your glutes instead of getting your glutes to be sore. I don't know. I need to do another set. Huzzah! don't remember when we first started adding the Spoto presses in, kind of where the numbers were at, but I feel like I tried 315 for some rep range the first week, and it was just too much. So it's kind of exciting that it's feeling better now. Lenny, that might be the same guy who was commenting on Yuri Belkin's videos. Maybe. Well, if I'm cheating by using leverages, Yuri is definitely cheating by using leverages. Diego, when you first started sharing your training progress and experience, were you nervous? What gave you the idea? I started sharing. No one was watching my videos. I've been doing this for a long time. When's my first? I think my first YouTube video was like, I mean, back. You can see it. It was a suited deadlift. Like I had like maybe 2 people saw it, so it wasn't. There was no real conversation, I guess, with my inner monologue about sharing my progress, because at the time I was really just documenting it for myself, and even putting it on YouTube. The platform was much less developed. It wasn't like I got super successful at lifting and then started posting videos and having kind of a following that knew who I was. It wasn't the case at all. I just kind of started posting. And yeah, for a long time I just posted up individual sets, just kind of to track my own progress. After a while I like put music to them and did little write-ups on them, and then after that I started doing commentaries. So that's it. Lenny, you pointed out to him you also deadlift 800 pounds conventional, and he said something like still doesn't count because he's lifting the bar with leverage. Sounds about right. Yep. I mean, there's no way to, when a person's that set on that what you're doing isn't impressive, they're ignoring any chance of it being impressive. I mean, the easiest way for some people to feel like they're pulling themselves up is to tear someone else down. It's just really funny that it doesn't work with certain people. Tyler, obviously Yuri cheats too by having Russian DNA. No, he's not. I mean, the idea that someone's saying that your lift doesn't count because you're lifting with correct, not even leverage, but you're just not using bad technique. It was almost like it was aggressively like you can't use, if you use good technique then you're not getting any stronger, is what he was basically saying. Like I said, it was funny because of how just out there and ridiculous it was. Kali, do I still say I do not currently take Superstisis. I actually don't really take any supplements. Maybe caffeine, I guess I would count as supplementation. I take my medication, which is my ADHD medication. I take caffeine, mostly because I just like Monster. And then occasionally some ibuprofen. Lenny, where do I touch on my chest? Right here. In the sternum. Come down right between in this range, I guess. Currently, I'm not touching anywhere because these are Spoto presses. 1 set left. Huzzah. Yeah, Kali, I don't actually take any. For a time, I was taking some fish oil, and I just ran out. Oh, generic creatine, unflavored creatine. Take 5 grams of that a day. Grams, milligrams. A teaspoon of generic creatine powder, and then that's it. That's it, man. It just became too difficult to keep myself stocked with supplements, and so I just kind of like, I'll just not take anything. Do I think that they can still be useful? Absolutely. But do I think that they're big enough difference that everyone needs to take them or should spend money when you have other things that you could buy, like food that's like real good food to make and eat? Yeah. When you sometimes find benching inconsistent, I'm not sure if I prefer touching a little lower or below the nipples or a bit higher. Depends. Diego, ibuprofen, can't spell it. Ibuprofen. B-U. Proferin? I don't know. See, Jason, hello, sir. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Gains channel. That's what we are. The Gains channel. Push the button. Push the button, Ben. Good gosh. Oof. That knee pod. Did you guys hear that? I felt that through my hip. Oops. I went a little too fast on that second rep and actually ended up touching my shirt. The burbs. Do I have any of my training plans typed out? What do you mean? You mean like for my coaching? Or like my own training? Like the training that I am doing for myself, or the training that I plan and program for other lifters? Ibuprofen. Sounds pretty funny spread out. It does indeed, Lenny. It does. What a silly word. Is Papa Ben coming to the stream tonight? No, Tuesdays are usually Mom and Dad's date night. So they'll probably know that I'm streaming. They probably know that I'm streaming. They'll probably watch a little bit, but Dad's a lurker. He watches all these even after. If he doesn't watch them while they're doing them, he'll watch them afterwards, and he'll ask me questions about you silly boys and your thoughts. The burbs. My training, yeah, I have 2 coaches, and they send me my programming that I do, and then I write them out because I like to write. I like to handwrite things, give myself notes and stuff like that. And yes, coaching is actually my full-time job. So, and if you're interested in learning more about that, you can check out the the coaching email address in the description of any of my videos. It's Benricetraining. See, guys, and you heard Brandon Campbell was stronger than me. Yep, can't keep up. Can't keep up. With great age comes great strongs. No, my biggest thing about training with Brandon is he doesn't, I don't know if he always believes in himself as much as he should. He doesn't believe he's as strong as he is. So if you're watching this, Brandon, which he's probably not because it's way too long for the guy, he has so many things he's doing with his life, he's so busy. But if you do watch this, or if it's too bad to you, you're stronger than you think you are. Believe it. Believe it, brother. Lenny, you have found yourself to have a very upper chest, front dominant bencher. Have you seen any similar lifters? Most bodybuilders are like that. Powerlifters, not so much usually. Jason, how do I combine the feedback of both coaches for your programming? Oh, it's a team effort. They work together. My coaches work together. Jamal, what's up? Hey, congrats on coming that close to that big pull this weekend, brother. That was a heartbreaker. You got it definitely for sure next time, though. Just gotta calm the mind a little bit. You had it. Anybody who doesn't know, Jamal went up to Toronto, I think. Toronto did an international and broke the 105 junior world record, pulled 777, I think, and got about as close as you can get to an 804-pound deadlift, and not quite get it. Just got pitched forward a little bit at the very top. It was a very solid lift. Proud of you, brother. You've been putting in the work. Next time you got it for sure. These should go pretty quick, seeing as how they're so light. Burbs, I charge, currently my going rate is $30 a week. $30 per week for coaching. In the future, I'm probably going to have to raise that. But anybody who I'm currently working with or starting with soon is going to have that normal rate. I'm not going to bump it up yet, but I've just had so much feedback that I need to charge more. And it's probably going to happen, or I'm going to have to just take on a whole bunch of clients, and then the quality, I don't want the quality to go down just because I have to make a living. So when my expenses go up, I have to make more income. Jamal, you're going hook grip? I think objectively it would be beneficial. Your hands are definitely big enough. So just learn to cope with the discomfort, and you got it, man. Check out the video I made about it, and definitely the video that Bryce from Calgary Barbell just made. His is a different approach, actually. We have different approaches to the hook grip, and I think that both should be considered. So, Lenny, do you think soreness can be a good indicator of muscles used in the lift? Some science says otherwise. It's one indicator. If you understand anatomy and understand biomechanics of how a muscle moves a joint, how it produces force on a joint, then that's a better indicator in terms of just objective. But I mean, if something hurts when it shouldn't hurt, it might be a good indicator that something wrong is going on. So. Jamal, the platform had a divot in the middle. That's unfortunate, man. That's how it felt. I think that's how it felt in Columbus too, when we had to move the bar over. That was not fun. No, Lenny, we're not curling 135 on stream for the fans. I'm sorry. Silly boy. Jamal, it's 1 year time. Get some rest, boy. You got more lifts to get. You got more lifts to get. I plan on doing this earlier, and in the future they'll probably be a little earlier. Tyler, it's not too bad. The stream was really poor quality. International meets should be better. Lenny, how much do I charge for being a pizza life coach? I'll do it for free. Pizza is okay, but you might make better food choices if you take it off the table for yourself. You silly boy. Ayo. Do you and when would you recommend knee wraps? I don't wrap my knees currently because I don't compete in knee wraps. If you are planning to compete raw with wraps or as an equipped lifter, then I would get some knee wraps. And if you don't plan on doing either of those two things, then I wouldn't bother with them. Jason, hook grip is shooting up in popularity a ton. I mean, I've used it for years and years, but finally made the commitment to switch it to my actual competition pull, and I think that people are recognizing how beneficial it can be. I think it's always a pendulum, though. There were times when it swings, right? The popularity of certain things. And I don't think it's for everybody because some people don't want to add that extra discomfort. It's not worth it to them, where it's worth it to me. Kali, how many days would you recommend in between days of squats and deadlifts? I find it too taxing if I do them both in the same session. I train 4 days a week and have squats and deadlifts alternating. So Monday is a squat day, Tuesday is a deadlift day, Thursday is a squat day, Saturday is a deadlift day. So, and I bench all 4 of those days. That's how my training is set up. Raphael's name is Jeff. Well, hello, Jeff. My name is Jeff. Oh, excuse me. Lenny, how many steps should you take on your deadlift to walk out? 7, at least 7. Kurt, did you just compare hook grip to CrossFit with the popularity? Did I? I don't think I did. I have a feeling that some of it, a rise in popularity with Olympic lifting probably. I think it's mostly that we're just noticing people that are switching, but there's still a lot of, I mean, Christoph still pulls over under, right? Jesse Norris still pulls over under. Like the best deadlifters in the world still don't use it for the most part. So I don't think it's all that crazy. Alex, any tips for improving hitching on the deadlift? Conventional? Don't do it. It sounds simplistic, and but it's really comes down to you're choosing whether or not you're trying to ramp the bar up, even subconsciously. Don't allow it to ever be an option, even in training, and that's you just have to commit to never having it be an option to finish a pull, no matter what. And if you feel yourself doing it, drop the bar. It doesn't don't enforce the habit by finishing reps with a hitch. If it's not a clean pull, don't allow yourself to give yourself that kind of recurring. It's like picking your butt up on a bench press. Just don't do it. Keep yourself engaged. Simply Strong. Hey Ben, my right hip sits a little higher than my left after a heavy squat session. I tend to get some serious tightness and some pain in my right lower back hip. What should I do? I would say get it yourself a Supernova. One of these bad boys. I think it's Supernova. And take the hip that you're having issues with, get in on the psoas, because usually if something's sitting a little higher and something's sitting lower, you're gonna have some tightness on one side. So clear up some of that. Try to make some room with the psoas and get into your TFL that's back here. It goes up underneath. You might have to go through the oblique and kind of get into that. But try and get a little bit of work in on those tissues that might be pulling the hip up a little bit. Once you open a little bit of slack, then you can work through the hip and the glute. And I made a video, the coaching tips video, about how most people are not mobilizing their hips and glutes correctly. So go to my channel, check out the coaching tips series, and check, I think it's 3 videos ago from the most recent one. Check that out. This is called a Supernova. You could use a softball. This is it's bigger than a lacrosse ball, so it's easier to get, because it's really hard to get into that psoas if you have a small ball like a lacrosse ball, where it's just easier with something that's a little bigger, because you're not gonna lay on the ground into that and have it be as much of an issue. But that's something that I'm actually working on too. My right hip gets short, and I think that's really a contributing factor to when I'm having knee issues. So I'm working on that currently myself. Jesse has big hands. Well, I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to his hands when we were talking. So, but I'll take your word for it. Alex, oops, sorry, I struggle at lockout and hitch. Assistance work. Honestly, I mean your glutes. If you're struggling at lockout, your starting position is probably off. Is what most people I see happen, is they start the pull and they're not in a great position. Speaking of which, I do need to start pulling. They're not in a great position, so they yank the bar. And I'll actually demonstrate. So for a conventional pull, if I'm not in a good position and I yank the bar, if I have rounding in my spine, if I get to here, I have to do a thoracic extension. A lot of guys will try to ramp the bar up like that just to stop it so they can get themselves in a better angle to put force on the bar. Where if you're starting and you're holding your position more solid, then I don't have to get to that. But if you're having the issue, lock your knees first, and then your glutes will be able to fire through. So I think I've played this game a couple of times on the stream, but you can try this right now and see the difference. Bend your knees a little, stand up where you're at, bend your knees slightly, and bend at the hip and flex your glute as hard as you can, and feel how much tension you're able to generate. Then stand up, straighten your legs, and then flex your glutes, and you'll see that you can actually fire the glute a lot harder, because the glute can't fully fire. So if you're ever getting stuck near the top of a deadlift, instead of doing this shenanigans, lock your knees first, and you might be able to finish your glutes through. But good lockouts are started by amazing start positions. So work on your starting position, and it tends to clean up the lockout a lot for most people. Burbs, you sent an email for Goat? Okay, well, I will get right back to you after this session is complete. I've got a few guys I'm still trying to get started, and I've been whelmed, but I'm fixing that. I'm fixing that right now. The beast is back. Getting knee pain from squatting twice a week, or knee sleeves worth it? They will help, but they won't fix the underlying problem. If you're getting knee pain without sleeves, knee sleeves will not prevent you from getting knee pain. They help, because some compression on the knee can help, but there's probably an underlying issue that's causing the pain in your squat, and you need to fix that. or else the knee sleeves they're not gonna fix it for you, I guess. It's just that's a Band-Aid solution, and it doesn't fix the root of the problem. If your knees are hurting, there's a reason for it, and knee sleeves are not going to prevent that from becoming an issue in the future. Diego, whelmed, Young Justin's reference? I don't like to say overwhelmed. I don't like to use, because when someone says overwhelmed, it means they're not able to, it actually doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you think about it. It's like when something's unbearable, well, as soon as you're experiencing that, you've already bore that, right? You have bared that pain. You don't have to worry about it. Or not that you don't have to, the only time something becomes overwhelming or unbearable is when you're anticipating it continuing to kind of lord over you and be preventing you from being able to move past it. But if you've already, I get whelmed where I'm kind of at my limit of what I can currently do, but I choose not to believe that I'm incapable of becoming better. Overwhelmed, whelmed. Yes, the verbs. Spelling is good. Spelling is all right. Whew. I wanted to ask you guys and kind of poll the audience here. Did you guys have a chance to check out the video that I posted over the weekend? Because I put some work into it. It's a little different than my normal commentary videos. The hero to need in the world needs more of you. Make spelling great again. As long as you guys are nice to each other, that's all I care about. Or respectful to each other. Grammar Nazis. Well, I would say if someone misuses a word, Lenny, that perturbs me slightly as well. I depending on the context, I might offer a correction, but in a lot of situations, it doesn't really help. If you care about the person, it all depends on where the person's coming from, right? If it's coming from a place of, oh, I want you to understand, this is something Jess and I have run into a couple of times where she doesn't like to be corrected. But if I care about her and she uses a word that doesn't mean what she thinks it means, I want her to be able to go through in the future knowing the difference. It annoys you more in real life? I'm going to fight you if I see you in real life, Lenny. I'm going to correct all your words. It's going to be hilarious. Like when people say irregardless. Ugh. Anyway. Bro, dude, man, bro. Didn't see what makes it different. There's no commentary. It's only 4 minutes long, and it's just a training compilation video set to music. The group NEFX reached out to me and emailed me. I have a feeling they reached out probably to a lot of guys. They said, oh, you have a fitness channel. It's pretty awesome. Maybe you'll like our music. So I made a music video, and I'm curious if people liked it or not, to be honest. So I liked it. I had fun editing it together, and I didn't have to come up with a commentary for it. So, and I thought that it was a good opportunity to kind of put some of my training in the last three or so months together. Knives only, Lenny? Exactly. The verbs, how about could care less? I couldn't care less. I could care less. It's possible for me to care less than I care right now. Yeah. Idioms, man. Idioms are confusing. That's why English is such a hard language to learn for non-native speakers, I think, because we have silly things. Bro, do man, bro. Well, I hope you like it. Let me give me some feedback on it, man. I put way more time into that video than I probably should have, considering the time that I had available to me. I ended up pretty proud of it, though. So, and I like the song. And I found one of the few songs they have that didn't have swearing in it, which is why I think that maybe they aren't, like, it was kind of like a group email that they sent out to a bunch of people. Who you calling an idiom, wise guy? Exactly. Exactly, Lenny. Get on my linguistic level, bruh. Oh. Bar is crooked, so set up crooked to the bar. Let's knock this one out too. Stay on track. A little wider. Cool. Keeling English is the easiest, to be honest. I believe it's like fundamentally that it's less complicated than a lot of other languages, but the way it is used. I think that learning English wouldn't be so bad if we didn't have so many sayings and idioms that do not make any kind of logical sense. And it's become such a big part of the national vernacular to use a lot of phrases that literally don't make sense if you were to be someone who's trying to understand what this word means. But used in this context, it's used inappropriately, and I think that so many English speakers do that. I could see kind of the whole of our language being very confusing. Less about the language itself and more about the way it's used, I guess. Yes, Alex, you missed the bench. The fastest sets of bench Ben has ever done. That's kind of true. What do you think about that? Burbs. Yeah. I can respect that, man. Probably personal preference. The music choice without lyrics works better for me. Well, they don't have any songs without lyrics. I like the beat. I like the kind of the sound of it, and I like that it didn't have any swearing in that particular song. So, but I totally respect it's not for everybody, and I got excited about it. So I can maybe when my a cappella group starts to cover some heavier stuff, we can maybe put in something that's different. That's not cliche. I like the stuff from like Two Steps from Hell, Heart of Courage, that kind of music. I like that as well, but most of that is not freely offered to a YouTube creator. Like NFX sent me those songs and said there's no copyright on these. You can use them freely, and we're not going to ding you for a copyright strike, which is such an issue all the time. Ben needs to slow down. He's gone from good old Uncle Ben Rice to 90-second Rice. That's an Uncle Ben's rice right there, that reference. Delicious. I didn't do 4 or 5 yet. Gotta do it, mate. That's true, but you get used to them since you normally use English a lot, even without being in a country that mainly speaks English. Fair enough, Keeling. Fair enough. I don't fluently speak another language, so I would have a hard time. My perspective is very much what I've heard from other people who have had different experiences. So I can't claim to be an expert on multilingual situations. And I get where you're coming from, but others are usually harder. Like Chinese is literally the inflection that changes the words. Oh, trust me, I have no dog in this race. I think that I'm merely trying to unpack why, because I've heard English is difficult to understand by other people, and that's the reason that would make sense for me, because at times I know a lot of English speakers who can't speak English well, and so. But I definitely don't have I don't have an agenda on this. I have no part of my ego of understanding the world is tied to that understanding. So I feel you guys. And I'm talking to the great audience for that right now with the international boys we got. So Alex, when am I going to go back to the Chucks? Probably not, man. I like the Reebok CrossFit TR lights that Mark Bell made, and now they don't make them anymore, so I like them even more. It's supposed to be clever. Hey Thomas, welcome back. Come on, lad. Burbs, yeah, copyright sucks for YouTube creators. It makes sense to protect someone's intellectual property. Like, it's important for people who are creative to be able to protect their creation. But at the same time, if you're trying to make music videos on YouTube, because I've in the past had to pull a lot of music off a lot of my older videos, because I used to use things like Two Steps from Hell, a lot of their stuff for that kind of stuff, and I really liked it. But that stuff isn't free domain. You have to either pay for the rights to use it, which I'm a poor boy, I can't do that right now, or you have to alter it in some way. I had an outro for a while that I was getting dinged with copyright every time that I used the outro, because it said copyright free on it, and I guess it wasn't. They weren't like giving you strikes for it, but they were doing copyright claims, and so that any monetization that was on that video would go to the original owner. One of the reasons I don't use music during these sessions is so that, because in the background, if music was playing that ended up being copyrighted, they could mute the entire video, and then we'd have hour-long training sessions that don't have any audio on them at all. 90-second rice packets are awesome, but they're expensive, like almost $2 for one. You got to get them in the right spots, Lenny. You can get it for $169 at Safeway, my local Safeway. Thomas, guys, my deadlift has shot up ever since you switched to sumo. Boom, that a boy. Go with boil in the bag? Nah, Alex, I don't like boiling water. I'm lazy. Even poor boy Ben. Rob, speak English good. Their English isn't good. You learned German at 12 for nothing? I learned French horribly when I was going through high school, and then, I minored in American Sign Language in college, but I'm not great at the vocabulary for it. I was more about grammatical structure and things. I can write American Sign Language better than I can sign it, as silly as that might sound. Yeah, Alex, they discontinued. Yeah. For now, I'm not planning on it. In the future, who knows? Who knows if my lights get all nasty. Alex, yeah, the profile picture will always be Seal. Exactly. Burps. By the copyright, it sucks because even attributing the songs doesn't do anything, but YouTube is an automated Nazi. Well, when you think about it, even if you attribute a song to someone and they've gone through all the work of creating that song, it's like a lot of the React channels that they used to have, right? When people would just play a video and they would react to it and they say, oh, people are coming for my reaction to this. But once you've seen the reaction, you may not go to the source itself and give them the revenue flow. And so through the views or the clicks or whatever, so when you get to be a bigger brand or a bigger name, or especially with smaller brands and smaller names, you want to make sure that you're getting the financial recompense, I guess, for the work that you're putting out there in the world, because it's your effort. And so I understand it and I respect it. It's it just tends to be a hassle sometimes when you want to do something that's creative and something feels like it's the right thing to just put there, and it would make it easy. But maybe as content creators, we can afford to work a little harder. So, Biscuit, you keep hurting your back on light deadlifts after squats. You're on daily engine and PSH lift sumo. I think it's the belt for some reason. That's weird. As I never heard it on heavy deads. Thoughts, tips. You're probably paying better attention. You're probably not as fatigued when you're doing your heavy deads because you probably do them on their own, and you're probably paying much closer attention to your technique and your positions. Make sure that you treat every single lift you do like a max in terms of how on point you need to be with your positions. And make sure that you're taking appropriate, that you're not doing so much volume that your technique and your positions are degrading over the course of the set. That's something that happens a lot too. So Cole, a lot of 4s, 5, 6. What are some good workouts for a football kicker? Just get generally stronger and practice kicking, I would say. Lenny, the 169 is not, it's 2 cups of rice. Actually, the ones that I get, jasmine rice, are like 1.6 cups of rice. It's a conspiracy. They want all the money from you, but I'm too lazy to cook it, man. And I don't want to cook a whole bunch of it and then have it, I don't know. I'm totally justifying a bad thing that I do. And I don't want you guys to tell me and make me even more aware of it than I already am. You're right. I'm doing a bad thing, and I should fix it. Oh, it feels bad to know that that's the truth. Feels bad to know that that's the truth. Tommy boy, it's been a while. Yep, I didn't get a stream last week because I was hanging out with Granddaddy B. Campbell in Seattle, Washington, doing our deadlifts at Seattle Strength and Power, the best gym in Seattle, for sure. You know, if YouTube would send the music creator a part of the revenue you make in the video, it would make total sense. It does sometimes. That's what was happening with that outro video, where I would make the outro song. I would make an entire video, 12 minutes long. I would use 8 to 12 seconds of a song, and then they would get all of the financial stuff for that. And so I switched it to something that's copyright free. Unfortunately, even though I thought it was perfect when I was using it the first time. Decisions, man. Decisions. Burbs, how much have I spent on my gym equipment? I was very fortunate with the garage stuff where I got most of this in one go on Craigslist, and I got probably about $4,000 worth of equipment for just under $2,000, and then I've been adding stuff to it over time. My advice would be to start off with the essentials. Start off with looking for a rack, a bar, a bench, and weights, and then add to it from there. Just look around in the area. Craigslist is your friend. Buying secondhand is your friend, especially on weights. Try not to buy weights right out. They charge so much. That's where most of the money is going to go, is buying weights. Oh, did I miss some things? Fix it. Yeah, Seagazing, exactly. Fix it. I just need to fix it. Oh, man. Stop contributing to the rice epidemic. Oh, man. Lenny says it all the time. How do you not know this? Biscuit, you stopped tracking my macros. Do you still track? Also, do you still sing? I still sing. Yep. Singing the national anthem in a couple weeks, actually. And the A Cappella group, we're planning our next rehearsal. But I do. We're scattered throughout the state, so we don't have as many rehearsals right now, but we still meet when we can. Don't tell me how to live my life, Alex. I'm going to do a set when I want to do a set. I got up, I'm going to do it. What time is it? We're doing okay. Girlfriend is heading to bed. sucks because you said do a set, now I want to even wait longer. Just to spite you. Just to be childish and immature about it. But I do need to do a set. I totally missed. Don't worry about it. Ugh. Everything's popping. Everything. I feel just old and crickety. Crickety. Grimy, mate. I was just impatient off the floor with that one, so. Just do the last warm up right now and fix it. Done at 114. Ben, that is... I like Mad Ben. That is childish and mature. Come at me. More Mad Ben. Get him mad. No, man. Oh. Y'all don't want to see Mad Ben. Y'all don't want to see Mad Ben. I did a little rant when Brandon and I were hanging out, and he's like, I've never heard you talk like this. I said, yeah, sorry. That's the secret side. No one can know. Good Lord, a twofer. Oh, Biscuit, I'm sorry I didn't answer. Currently, I'm not tracking super close. I'm going to start, though, because the meet's coming up, and I just want to know kind of where things are going. If I was anywhere in the range of worrying about we're trying to, like, slowly bring me up, and I tend to eat pretty similar things most days. I do track... Most of the time, I haven't been super adherent to tracking recently, if that makes sense. Sorry about that, Biscuit. I did not mean to not answer. Lenny, I'm actually not a huge fan of the new mobile app update for YouTube. Gerbra, you know Discord notice tonight? What? That's not right. I wonder if because I took a week where I wasn't doing it, if everyone got... I don't know what the situation is. That's no good. Burbs, Mad You does the best of everything. I don't think I tend to do the best of anything except for making people feel bad. when I get mad, so I'm going to avoid it. Kingly, what have you been playing? I saw you're a LoL fan. I am, but I can't play it. I can't play it right now because it takes too much of my attention away from stuff that I have to do. So, unfortunately. Alex, you like the taping technique? You ripped 6 calluses at once this afternoon, just taped and continued, no straps. I ripped this bad boy pretty hard with my 750 pause dead on Friday, from knuckle to knuckle. Didn't feel it, didn't hurt at all. I didn't even notice it, and it just was a clean split with this flap of skin right there. Because I actually took the tape off, because I didn't have. I went to Walmart or to Target, and I told people to get generic hand tape. If that's the case, don't do that, because whatever this garbage is worthless. This is horrible. I went back and got some Ace tape instead, and it's much, much better. But holy biscuit noodles, that stuff was so awful. I was real grumps about that, so I took it off so the bar wouldn't slip when I was hook gripping my pause deadlifts. Made it all the way through. It's 675 for a double, hooked 725, or technically 685 for a single on accident because I had an extra plate on one side. You guys will see that in the video tomorrow. It was real bad. Still finished the weight, huzzah. And then 725 for a double, and then 750 for a double. Made it all the way up to there, and it didn't tear until 750, which was a little unfortunate. But then I just taped it up like this, the same way, where I've got this tape on there. I broke out my good stuff because I only had the bad stuff, and then this is my Hartman AC tape. Oh, I can't. I'm terrible at this way. Hartman AC tape. This stuff is amazing, but it's really expensive, and so I only use it when absolutely necessary. Garbage tape. It's garbage tape. I said it. Mad Ben says garbage tape. Angry Brisket Boy. Biscuit, what are my go-to meals? I wonder if you're aware of how often I use that word, because it's going to be awkward in this stream. You think I'm talking to you when I'm not. But I'm talking to you right now. Go-to meals. I still drink egg whites. I still make... I make Protemeal. Again, because I'm lazy. The oatmeal that has the protein in it from Quaker Oats. Real lazy. The Uncle Ben's jasmine rice with this crock-pot chicken that I make. That's probably my most common food. Then just bananas, egg whites, and then I kind of fill in some other things. Pretty boring diet. I don't have a whole lot in terms of like weird random cravings for things. Gerbera, you missed the bench. Sorry, man. I finished it too fast. Normally I take forever to do it, right? Alex, you like that pause deadlift? I felt pretty crazy about that. That technically is a 1 pound meat PR for the USAPL, like for a stiff bar for me. If I would have done that same weight, it's 1 pound over what because I think you pull 749 with the kilos or something close to that. That was pretty fun. Biscuit, my girlfriend works as a Starbucks barista in Seattle and also works in her family-run bakery. So, Alex, yeah, it looked like you did those lifts tapeless. I didn't tape for my top sets when I was there because this freaking garbage tape. I hate you. Go over there. I just threw it. I don't even care. Don't even care. And the real Ben comes out. Yep. Big Lenny Jr., what's a good Insta video to find my sumo deadlift troll? Check out. Let me see. I'm gonna find it for you. I gotta turn my data back on because I always turn my. I'm paranoid that if I'm using data, then it'll make the OBS mad because it'd be like, you don't want to be this, dude, don't do this. I will find one. Not that one. Not that one at all. I would say. Oh my gosh. All right. Lenny, you go to my page. You go to my Instagram page. You see all the Chester pictures? I think this one. This video. No, not that one. Dang it, the one next to it. The one after that Chester Knapp picture. So this one has 27 comments, and a lot of them are this guy. So like we're talking like books of comments where he's just arguing with like himself. It is amazing. It's amazing. That was posted. When was this even posted? What or anything? It was April 18th. So check out the Instagram video that I posted April 18th and just be hilarious. It's so good. Alex, you tried the egg white method, but just by itself. You went to the bathroom 6 times in 4 hours? What kind of egg whites did you get, man? That's not right. Lenny, what do you put in the crock pot with your chicken? Mine always gets super dry. I take about 4.5 to 5 pounds of chicken. Just chicken breast with rib meat. Put them in a crock pot. Put it on low. I'll pour in a jar of salsa, a bunch of cilantro, lime juice, and then some green chilies. And I'll just let that slow cook for like 12 to... the longest I've gone is like 26 hours, which was just too long. But I'd say, you know, overnight or so, and then get back to it. I put that over rice with some sharp cheddar cheese on it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, boys, it's so good. Send Ben garbage tape, everyone. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Biscuit, how often do I road rage? I do not. I am the friendliest, most patient driver you will ever be in a car with. I used to be an ambulance driver, and I just learned to be a super defensive driver, and my girlfriend hates it. Because she's an aggressive driver, and she like wants us to get there, and so like she'll like honk at someone or yell at them, and like, are they getting in the lane? And I'm always like, hello friend, nope, come on in, you're all right, we're good. So like when I was driving around with Brandon in Seattle, I have a feeling a lot of people hated me because I'm like patient where I'll let someone get into the lane. But if they were wearing straps and taping their hams with garbage tape, then we're going to have an issue. So I need to do a set. Ben is furious. No tape is safe in his presence. Bro, dude, man, bro, I get, they're pasteurized egg whites. I get pasteurized egg whites from the carton because I'm lazy and I drink them because I don't want to cook them because I don't like cooking. I don't enjoy it. I have zero passion for cooking. It's no fun at all. Walmart brand. Alex, it was Target. I went to Target when I was in Seattle because I was out of my normal tape. Walmart actually had the Ace tape that I like. Or that I don't hate. And then the Hartman's AC tape is like top shelf, but it's super spendy. Alex, egg whites, 250 calories, 50 grams of protein. Yeah, man, straight up. Sorry to hear you drove an ambulance. I was the most patient ambulance driver. Let me get you mad for the next set. No, we're just going to do it. Don't need to be mad for this weight. Even if it is conventional. Ugh. Alright. Sorry, I had to set up the camera. I also need to make sure that I take these seriously, even though it's less weight. This is still, I could still perform this poorly. So I need to focus on positions. not bad, I'm just lazy. Trying to make sure that I set appropriately. Don't short the positions. There is no PRs for conventional. It doesn't matter to me. Conventional doesn't matter. Biscuit, you've been a follower for over 4 years and never knew I did the live streams. It's something I started up after coming back from Columbus, so it's pretty new. What is that? End of March or beginning mid-March maybe? So it's relatively new, and in the future we're going to switch over to Twitch, I think, because I just think it'll end up being better on that platform overall. Where are we at time-wise in terms of how long I've... Totally could already be done with these, but then the stream will end. So I'm just trying to extend it out for you guys. That's all it is. He said knowingly. I didn't say I'm a passive driver, Lenny. I am a defensive driver. There's a difference. Alex can't send a link to a strap pick? Good. Good. Not trying to get yourself banned. Still needs to hit a 500 double overhand. Bruce, what are my timings? When I let chat help with them? Oh, I'm not worrying about the timing for this. This is 3 sets. This is not a big deal at all. It's no issue. I will set myself some 5-minute timers here just so that I don't get too distracted. But this session is so much shorter. Even if I let it go a full 2 hours, it's still infinitely shorter than some of the ones I've done before. Burbs, I can do Twitch and YouTube at the same time. I don't know if my computer could handle it, though. That's the issue that I need to figure out. And then, if eventually I were to partner with Twitch, then you can do both at the same time. But I'd have to have like a bunch of consistent viewership on Twitch, which I don't plan to be the case. I don't expect that to be the thing right away, or potentially at all. I don't know how successful this will be on there, but we'll see. Lenny, this guy's great. Your back angle allows you to lift the weight. It looks like you're doing a squat lockout by simply just holding onto the bar. How hard can that be with your build? Exactly, man. And then some other people, because I will never comment back to him. I can't. My role in life is to provide him with the frustration of never having someone respond when he's talking to that person. Everyone else can. And I encourage other people to, because I think it's funny. But I will never respond to him just because it's way more enjoyable. J Cream, welcome, sir. Late but in. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Biscuit, do I have a job outside coaching? I don't currently. I have in the past, and I'm not opposed to it in the future. If it's something that I enjoy doing, I have had lots of jobs, actually. So we're going to see. I've had my fair share. Ben, your conventional form seems dead on. Ha ha, you funny boy. Look at those calves. You're not seeing any calves here. I don't have them. Not having any calves. Tommy boy. Ben, do you find a good physical therapist? Having crazy shoulder issues for the last 2 years and haven't found a PT that I feel understands my specific issue. I'd really appreciate. I was very fortunate that I had a chiropractor who also was an athlete and worked with a lot of athletes. I think that's the biggest thing. If you can find a PT who is an athlete or has a background in like strength sports, that's really what you want to look for, because even if someone's just got a high level of ability, their easiest option when dealing with a client, right, is to get you to stop doing anything that puts you at any unnecessary risk. And lifting weights to get, this is beyond healthful exercise, right? This is the extreme of trying to push yourself to become unnaturally strong, which is kind of a funny way to phrase it, but it really is. You're breaking down your body. So a lot of PTs, like their advice might be like, hey, stop lifting weights and putting yourself at risk, or do it to a moderate extent or a moderate degree. You just have to find someone who has some extra stuff. Alex, I'm wearing sleeves under my sweats, honestly, because my knee is still kind of poppy on the right side, and if I just wear one sleeve, then the other one feels uneven. But they're not my competition sleeves. I'm wearing a size up so that they're not really that restrictive at all, just to keep a little bit of slight compression on my knee that has bugged me for the last couple of months. Lenny, quoting this young man who, or not young man, this older man who posts on all my Instagram stuff. That's great. You think Ben is fitter than me? No, really, it is. Which I don't know how that's going to be possible, seeing that I'm the hottest human being that will ever be born on this planet. It's amazing. Someone called him out on his receding hairline, and he went on this big rant about how people with receding hairlines are discriminated against. It's truly amazing. Even if you don't want to follow my Instagram just for the posts that I put, just for him commenting on them is worth the follow, in my opinion. The burbs, I do not go shoot. I have bows. I have 2 compound bows, but I don't go shooting guns. I know many people who do. Gerber, how much do I weigh? When you're out in public, do people notice you lift weights based on your physique? I have no idea what people in public notice about me. I weigh about 220. So, currently. Working my way up to 231 in the next 10 years, it feels like. To let off steam. I don't know if going out to shoot would be the best way to let off steam, Burbs. I think I like lifting to let off steam and meditating to let off steam. Those are the ways that I tend to try and focus my mind. Giving me a weapon and going out to try and relieve stress, anger, and anxiety may not be the most effective for me. How tall am I, Burbs? I'm like, I think we've decided, 5'9" and 3/4, because I don't want to say I'm less than 5'10", but I can't really claim it. I've squished myself down with heavy squats over the years. Alex, oh, so you wear sleeves on the knees during deads? Not always. Just right now, I have been. Like, I tend to not. I don't wear them when I compete and pull sumo for the most part, but for the conventionals, and if I'm having issues, I'll wear them. Biscuit, what are my thoughts on these fitness YouTubers who are relatively new to the scene, like Max Tuning and Guzman, who put out crappy advice and just blog? People watch them. If you want someone to be successful, then watch and share their content. If you want them to not be successful, then don't watch and share their content. That's as simple as that. That's my opinion. I understand the content I put out isn't suited for everybody. So people go to what they're interested in. That's the game, man. That's what this whole thing is. So I respect the hustle. I respect the grind of people who put in the work to become successful at YouTube. I have clearly not done the same amount to put my channel at a high enough level to be compared to that. So that's where I'm at. Oh, man. Gerbro, only asked Ben because powerlifters generally have big traps, back, and hips. I was wondering if people approach you based on size and ask for advice. I'm not the biggest powerlifter, man. I only recently have in the last couple of years have developed my upper body enough where people even may be able to notice. I've always had pretty developed lower body from the work I've done, and my back has always been really dense. And in the music department where I was in college, a lot of people were like, oh, Ben's the guy who lifts, because everyone else was really tiny and didn't. But yeah, I don't think it's ever. I've never been the guy who someone like comes up to and like, oh man, you're huge, and that's okay with me. I don't need to be that guy. Hands are still kind of torn up from Friday, but that's okay. Lenny, yeah, it's 100% the guy who's been posting on Yuri stuff. Doesn't surprise me. He has followed and unfollowed me just daily. That guy will follow and unfollow my Instagram account. Like, I recognize the name when it pops up every single time. It's hilarious. I feel you, Burbs. Competition with your previous self. Totally, man. I can see that being valid. I think shooting would be expensive, though, right? Ammunition alone. My hobbies tend to, like, I spend enough on this stuff and just on feeding myself. It works to really stress by improving. Yeah, maybe that's my my other outlet other than this is probably music and through improving myself as a coach and trying to be a leader, I guess, in that setting. Drinking, I bet Ben looks huge compared to the average person in public. The camera doesn't always tell the truth. Plus, fake natties have kind of showed how real naturals who lift look like. Well, I don't do a whole lot of like hypertrophy. I've never tried to be the big, strong looking dude. I've just tried to be the big, strong dude. Or the moderately sized strong dude. Hey, Yugi, thank you, sir, for the generousness. Yeah, I'm playing catch up, Lenny. Give me a break. You know better than this. Gerber thinks I look big on stream. Well, thank you. I'm not 230 yet. 220. It's okay, guys. You don't have to pad my ego about it. It's not gonna hurt my feelings. Yugi, hey Ben, nice to see you again. Been waiting for your stream. I thought I might have missed it since you've been talking about Twitch. Yeah, I haven't. Last week I was in Seattle the whole time, so I didn't have a chance to. Or I was up in Seattle for the workouts that I would stream. And the squat workouts I was doing were I changed the times around to make them work on that schedule. So I wanted to stream. I wanted to bring you guys down there, but I didn't have a way to do it when I was in Seattle. And it's an underground gym. I didn't know what the situation would be like for like internet and stuff. Plus, it was a good chance to hang out with Brandon and catch up. Because he just comes up here he comes up quarterly for his job, so I don't get to see him very often. So, good some bro time. They called Ben the monster back when he was doing snatch and grab missions. Totally. When I was serving my country. No. Also, nice haircut. Thank you, sir. It's much cooler. Like, heat-wise, not like physical appearance. Plus, I don't have to wear the hat right now. Oh, it feels so good. Trained at the farm in Langley. Basically, if Ben dropped to the 181 class, I bet he'd approach a lot more as the dude who lifts. Oh, man. Yugi, how did Yugi do that? By taking a loan in my mortgage, saving up, putting aside for Benny days. Much appreciated, brother. Much appreciated. Always appreciated, never expected. You guys know the deal. I like how people donate yet say nothing in the chat. Yugi, he's been talking. He just didn't say it on the chat. We had a couple times, the Burbs, I've never tried cutting my own hair. I don't trust myself. I go to the hair cutting place and I find, whoever they have, I say, make it shorter, please. And they're like, oh, what do you want? I'm like, just do shorter. You're the one who went to beauty school. I trust your judgment more than I trust mine. And I just let them do whatever they do. So it's like you always come out with whatever the haircut is. I never really have much to give them in terms of opinion. Alex, you saw that in the last vid? Oh, that definitely happened. Someone donated like $25 in the last vid and then didn't say anything the entire stream. It was completely silent. And I was like asking them to ask a question. They didn't do anything. I believe you, Burbs, that it's easy. I just have not had an interest in learning enough about how to do it. And I don't trust myself. Like I said, I don't even trust myself to give directions to the person cutting my hair. I wouldn't trust myself. Saves hundreds in the long run. Well, maybe I'll look into it. I like the girl who did it this time. Her name was Amanda, and she was very friendly. I might ask her if she could teach me how to cut my hair the way she did, because I was like, that seemed pretty okay. Watch a few 5-minute YouTube vids. Oh, man, but the time investment of doing it and messing up would be the thing, right? Because I'm scared to shave my head, because what if I got a lumpy head? I don't know. I feel like I might have a lumpy head, and I'd be goofy. So if I mess that up, I have to shave my head and then start from scratch, and I don't trust myself. Uchiha, any views on Corte 3x3? Love waking up to these streams. Well, I love you joining, man. I don't have a whole lot of opinion on that. I think Izzy might have done a program review of it. I haven't in a long time. I haven't looked into that program, so off the top of my head, I don't actually have a fair representation of what it really is. Bro, you haven't gone to the barber since you were 13. Well, how old are you now? And your hair always grows back. It would grow back, but then in the live streams, people would be like, Ben, your hair's short, and your calves are small, and you don't even look like you even lift, and then I just feel bad about myself. It takes 20 minutes tough. 20 minutes? I can pay a person who learned how to do it professionally. I'm sure I could learn how to perform surgery on myself and remove a kidney. I could learn that. Probably takes more than 20 minutes. But I don't got the time. I don't got the time, brother. And you save money on gas? Man, I'm trying to keep people employed. I'm not trying to kill someone's trade. J Cream, then you should grow out your hair extremely long, get red eye contacts, and come out to some metal during the next meet. When my hair gets long, it gets really poofy. Like, it gets really curly, but then it gets poofy, and I'm not a fan. I did it in high school. I think my senior year of high school, I grew up my hair so I could, like, pull. I had, like, ringlets, and my curly hair, I could pull it all the way down to, like, my chin. Like, that's the length of hair I was working with, and I was not a fan of that. I was, like, a hipster before hipsters were cool. That's the ultimate hipster right there. Another set. Got my last one. Last set. Oh, someone asked a question about tricep extensions, right? Well, I missed it. Alex, Ben, what weight do you use on tricep extensions? The most I could possibly use is 20 pounds because that's my heaviest dumbbell. So that much. I'll just do whatever it takes to make them difficult enough that 20 pounds is enough. Burbs, you could actually make me a 5-minute video to cut my hair like I do, like you do. Man, I feel like I'd have user error. That's the biggest thing, is I don't trust myself to be good enough at it to do it reliably. I'd watch the video. And if I was convinced that I could pull it off or it was simple enough, I'd try it. And you taught yourself. Well, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. Good job. I'm not that cool boy. Biscuit, do I get any significant money from Spotify? No, we don't. I mean, that album, like, we're just excited that people listen to it, honestly. And I feel bad about even charging people for it because I really love making it. And so I always just tell them where to go and listen to the music for free. So I'm working on this whole charging people money for the things I do that might be worth charging them for. I have a bad habit of not doing that. Yugi says Titanium Fitness cuts his own hair. Man, y'all with these super impressive people that are so self-sufficient, and I'm just a little boy who can't live his life the way he needs to live it. Frank, hey, you're gonna train chest today as well. Got any advice to how to start moving heavy weight? Be patient. Start with light weights, and then add more as you go, man. There's no secrets. There's nothing fancy about it. Set up a solid program. Progress over time. Try not to rush it, because the thing that takes the longest and sets you back the most is when you try to go too fast and hurt yourself. So just take your time and work hard. Work as hard as you're able to, and make smart decisions. That's if people could do that consistently, then everyone would always reach their goals. But it's way harder to do that than it sounds, because we're humans and we're emotionally driven, and we make decisions that are not always rational or logical, especially when it's something that's deeply personal, is self-improvement when it comes to like strength training. So Yugi is indeed related to Yu-Gi-Oh. He is the duel master. You better not talk any sass, Lenny. Yugi's the man. He's the stream king right now. See? Easy. Ah, burps. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Step 1, accept the hands just don't feel good. Step 2, just pull the weight. I do want to point something out to you guys. There's a little, like, about lifting little insight here. I see a lot of guys, and I've said this in a couple of streams now, who will try to set the bar, they'll like go and move it to where they want to be so it's even with whatever they're choosing to be the front. If the bar is crooked, it's probably there for a reason, and it's going to default there if you're doing multiple reps. So you can adjust it initially, but I know my bar tends to be slightly crooked in this way, and so I set up to the bar because when it hits the ground, it's going to default to that same spot. So if the bar is crooked, don't try to move the bar, try to set up to the bar. All done. Frank, what would I call a good program? There are many. There are many programs, and I'm hesitating to just name because there are so many I wouldn't want to leave some out and have people get real grumps about it. I would say a couple of Google searches, honestly. Go watch Eric Helm's video series, The Strength and Training Pyramid for Training. It's like 6 videos long, and it will teach you the basics of programming to the point where you can figure out what You can look at other programs that are out there and see which ones would work best for you and your goals. That is my advice. Otherwise, I would say look for a coach or just try something while trying to learn about it. But I don't want to just give someone, because I don't believe that I could just say, here, do this program and it'll work the best for you. So if you really want to get better, you owe it to yourself to learn about the craft and to learn enough to develop an understanding of how to keep getting better. So put in the time there and do that. And this is not hypocritical for me not wanting to learn how to cut my own hair because I'm not trying to be a hairstylist even for myself. I can teach myself in under $60. I don't trust that, burbs. I don't trust myself with my haircut techniques. Never have to pay for a haircut again. All through college, I had a friend who would just cut my hair for me. Her name was Nina. She was a very nice lady. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm open to trying to look into that, burbs, but I'm not passionate enough about it to guarantee that I will be able to actually achieve that. Lenny, you know some people go to the barber like every week. I go to the barber I go get my hair cut like every 3 months. So Burbs is really committed to me learning this skill. Ben, go watch Jeff's Side Shredded Pyramid. I'm not, because he said the eggs are a source for carbs, and I can never take anything he says seriously. Oh my gosh, I think people are weaker. Yugi, why do I think people are weaker at certain lifts? It seems like poverty bench are more prevalent in other lifts. I don't have any leverage deficit in bench press, but progression is so slow. You got a smaller group of musculature to work with, man. And usually the bench is the most heavily impacted by hypertrophy in the upper body. So if you're lacking muscle mass in the upper body, then you're going to have a tougher time building a bench, where you can you can be more efficient in the deadlift, or you're more efficient in the squat, and then ultimately everyone is built differently with different things. So, Alex, people really want you to cut your own hair. Burbs, I was that friend in college, not for you, by the way. Well, I would probably recognize if you were the person. I appreciate you trying to save me time and money. I need to actually make a video for you. I'm not even joking. It's easy. That's why. If you make a video and link it to me, I guarantee you I will watch it, and I will consider it seriously. I will seriously consider it. I cannot promise that I will do it, but if you make it, I will consider it. See your haircuts, because he complains about his income. I apologize if it comes off as complaining. I'm just honest when people to say that I am not rich. And money is not a huge. I do struggle with asking people to pay me for things, so that's what that is. It's not me complaining. I don't mind being poor. I'm okay being poor. I can live with that. It wasn't what you meant. No, I don't think we're coming in a negative place. It was to help. No, I appreciate that. Like I said, if you make the video, I will watch it and seriously consider it. And then I will make a judgment of if the convenience of having someone else do it for me is higher than the effort it would take for me to learn how to do it myself to the degree that I would need to do it to feel like I was comfortable with it, then I would make the decision. That's how you make all your life's decisions, right? You weigh the cost of... It's any kind of that's why if you're starving in the desert, or if you're dehydrated in the desert, water is more valuable to you at that time than a diamond. Even though if we were standing right here and I had water is readily available and diamonds are right here, I'd pick the diamond, even though they don't have any intrinsic value themselves. Ben's a good 220 with veins. What are you talking about? Got the forearm veins. Veins. Grrr. The forehead vein. That's the best one. That's the best one. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Yeah, Lenny, diamonds are actually pretty worthless. What is it, the De Beers? The De Beers Diamond Company. They got a monopoly on it. Although, good luck telling your lady love that diamonds are worthless, so you don't believe in the idea of engagement rings. See how far that goes. Alex, we're done with the main work, man. All I've got left is the accessories, and I tend to not stream those, just because I just go faster and get them done. What do we? It'd be Pendlay Rows, which would be super light. Those tricep extensions, and then I might do some ab wheel rollout. I'll do some ab wheel rollouts anyway. I just like doing them, man. I like doing the rollouts. Gerba, you think Lenny wants to see a shirtless YouTube workout session starring me? Yep. Well, they exist, man. You can look them up on YouTube. No, I appreciate it, Burbs. I hope that I am not coming across as dismissive to you attempting to help. I appreciate it. And like I said, if you make that video, I promise you that I will watch it and I will seriously consider it. Rob, sorry to go off topic of haircuts, but are you thinking of staying in 105 class for the foreseeable future? If I can get up there, yep. Was not a fan of the way that my body tended to react to training when I was under like 212. 210 to 212 is kind of the range where I'm a little more resilient to like overuse injury, and I don't get as beat up from training when I'm a little bit heavier. And I feel even better when I get heavier. So I feel pretty good right now at 220, and that's 11 more pounds that I'm able to gain, or 5 more kilos that I could gain into the class. So I've got plenty of room to grow there, and I spent a long time below this body weight, and so it might be kind of a natural progression of my lifting to move into the next weight class over the course of years. Because I wouldn't want to do it in 1 year and say, oh yeah, that was. Expect myself to grow fully into the class over the course of a year. It sometimes takes longer than that. Lenny's going to give his lady love a ring made of straps. Goodness gracious. Gerbra, the next streamed training session will be Saturday. Because I'll squat on Thursday, but I don't stream squat workouts. I don't stream. I'm no better. I know better than to stream squat workouts, because I'll hurt myself. I guess if you guys have other things you wanna dish a little bit about, we're hitting actually right on that 2-hour time, which is right around how long I was planning on the stream going. So if you guys have some more questions, we can go ahead and hit those up, and then I'm going to strip the bar down and just do my accessories, and then send some emails back. Got some big boy coaching things I need to take care of. So 1:30 in Texas. Lenny, straps are even more worthless than diamonds to Ben. Exactly. I'd rather have the diamonds that are worth absolutely nothing than the straps that are worth my dignity. Oh man. I know so many people that I'm friends with that like use straps too. Poor guys. Alex Ben's got his finger taped. Is that a Freudian slip? You with the Freudian slips. I think you've said that at least 4 or 5 times now in the chat. It's great. Yeah. Well, it's because this one had a big... I still have a tear that's underneath where this is, which was the one that was bugging me during those. I don't think we made it any worse. I don't know. My hands are so... my hands get beat up so much. I'm just used to it. Yugi, do you think it's wise to cut and bulk for strength and remain around the same body weight? I mean, depends on what you're trying to do. I think I haven't even watched. Izzy made a video about this, and I didn't even watch it yet. But I would suggest going and watching the video Izzy made about it, because I have a feeling he probably has thought it out more than any response I would give you right now. For the most part, I think that just doing a slow bulk until, like, that's the problem, is when people talk about bulks and cuts a lot of the time, they're thinking extreme excess of calories and extreme, they're trying to think extreme ends of the spectrum, where I don't think we have to be as polarized in those approaches. I think that you can have less extreme kind of periods of approach on that. I don't know. I need to think about that answer more before I give one that I'm confident standing behind. Alex, Bryce Lewis uses straps. Mike T uses straps. Lane Norton uses straps. Yeah, Jesse won't use them. I won't use them. Bryce from Calgary Barbell, in his hook grip video, he says he does his top sets with the hook, and then all of his other stuff is done with straps. And I think my stance from the beginning has been, if someone wants to make the case for wearing straps, I'm not going to tell them that they're a bad person for doing it. But my reasoning for not wearing straps is that if grip is your issue, wearing straps does not fix that issue. It creates a bigger disparity between what you're able to hold on to and what you're able to lift. And to fix the grip issue, if grip is your issue, then adding straps doesn't help with the issue. If grip is not your issue, then why do you need straps? And if the answer is because my hands get beat up, I could see someone saying, okay, well, you can do that, or you could not. And I would prefer not to risk my grip diminishing because I'm using something just to make it a little easier for myself. So that's my approach. Rob, we're friends until you learned of their strap use. Exactly. Bryce knows how I feel. I told him to his face. Oh, excuse me. And the only other person I know who is anti-strap is Ben Norris. Yeah, well, it's a meme on the stream that I have to be like the Gestapo of straps. I'm not. At the same time, like, I wouldn't get into a fight with somebody about it. If they felt super strongly about using them, I would disagree with them just on principle for the argument I said. If they had a different example, then I would evaluate it at that. I just haven't been convinced. No one's presented me with a reason that was convincing. And that's why I haven't changed my position on it. Rob, Izzy says once you're at a competitive weight class, then do a bulk within a weight range around your class, plus or minus 3 kgs, I think he said. Yeah, I would say that's probably a well thought out response that like I said, I don't have one myself that's packed in my mental FAQ. So you guys want to look. Oh, he's not talking to me. Okay, you guys are talking about haircuts still. That's adorable, Lenny. Thanks for sharing that with the class. I don't know who the Bogdanov twins are, J Cream. I'm sorry. It's totally a meme. Extra memes. Where are the chickens? Oh my gosh, no chickens tonight. No chickens. The garage door is closed because it's gotten colder again. It was warm and I was super stoked about it, and then it got too hot and I was like, okay, calm down a little bit, and then it got cold again. It's a bummer. Bumtastic. Hello, Phil. Powerlifting is 1 minute. PBRE, meme on the stream, huh? Dropping rhymes up in this. Yeah. Holla. Hello, sir. Welcome back. I am tired. That's a good thing. I'm not usually tired at this time of night. The attempt to start slowly working on the sleep schedule has been yielding good fruit, I think. I think we're making some progress, boys. Love ya. Love you too, man. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me tonight. I know it's not the most exciting stream that we do, but I think the community and the hangout times are fun. And it's probably for the best that it's not going to be a 5-hour stream. That was a little intense last time. It was really fun. I liked it, but yeah, Letty, you know what would wind down this sweet meme stream? An Interstellar stream. No, Lenny, I can't watch it without the girlfriend. She's currently napping too. So even if I wanted to, it's not an option. The streams are always epic. Well, I'm glad you feel that way. Oh, Lenny with the Interstellar. See, Lenny, now I'm nervous. Here's the thing. I'm real nervous, Lenny, that now I'm going to watch Interstellar, and you've pumped it up so high. You've, like, put it all the way up here. Boom. There it is. There's Interstellar. And I'm gonna need it to be up there, Lenny, and if it's not, what's that going to do for us? What's that going to do with the trust? What's the trust that we have? It's probably not going to live up to the hype now. I don't know if anything could live up to the hype that you have placed on this movie. Even if it's the best movie I've ever seen, I don't know if it could live up to the hype. J. Cream, yes, I did actually. I have been listening to Jordan Peterson lectures as well. I had listened to months ago, actually. I listened to the first podcast that Jordan Peterson did with Joe Rogan, and I listened to the recent one as well a few times. And I've been listening to his lectures in general, and I listened to the talks he had with Sam Harris. I thought that was really interesting, and there were many, I've really been enjoying his perspective. I've really been enjoying his perspective and some of the ways he talks about certain things. I cleaned my room. If you guys have watched that podcast or are familiar at all with Jordan Peterson and kind of some of his self-authoring program, then you might understand that a little better. I cleaned my room. It's helping. PDR, it's meh. Lenny, how dare you? If aliens were here, you'd have you banned for sure. Be nice, kids. Be nice. Phil, you heard Interstellar is good if you like science, which I do. I'm not saying I won't enjoy it, but there's no movie that could stand up to the internal critique that I am forced to have based off of the feedback I've gotten from Lenny about this. So, J. Cream, the guy's a genius. Changed my perspective on Christianity entirely. Used to be a militant atheist before I started listening to him. I really enjoyed his discussion about that because I don't know if you guys, I mean, some of you guys might know, my dad is a minister, and he and I have had a lot of talks, and I was really impressed when Jordan Peterson was asked about his faith, because he is a man of faith. He lives with faith. And his response to when someone said, how do you reconcile being a scientist and being a man of faith? His response was very insightful and very thoughtful, and I really appreciated how well articulated it was, and I enjoyed a lot of stuff. I enjoyed it a lot. So I thought it was, I think it was I think the whole podcast just for that was worth it for me, and there was a lot of other good stuff. So anything, and that's why I thought it was really important too when I was watching his discussions with Sam Harris, because Sam Harris is kind of the leader of the new atheists, and hearing them talk like civilized human beings and having real discussions with each other. And discuss, like, their first podcast was a disaster because they were trying to decide. They had different definitions of what truth was, where the second podcast was much less grimy. I enjoyed both because I think that it's really good to have Phil Thomas. New Atheist would just be the kind of the new brand, I guess, of I didn't title them that, but it's I guess what you would classify, surely atheists or atheists. I would say it's a movement of atheism. So. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up to everybody. Burb's too bad his defense of free speech in Canada failed. That is unfortunate, yeah. We'll see how that all plays out. Solitude, I am not an atheist. No. I am not an atheist. The way that Jordan put it, that I really enjoyed, was when someone said, "Do you believe in God?" He says, "I live life in a manner that would suggest that God exists. I live my life as if God exists." And I really like the way he said that. I really enjoyed that perspective. And I think that my personal... I live with faith. And I've always been... Whenever anybody asks, I'll never deny that. I do live with faith. I tend to not... The way I approach it in terms of like public, I guess, public discussion, like I don't hide the fact, but I feel like it's less effective to inundate people by kind of trying to make them feel like you're always trying to convince them of something. I'd rather have discussions with people in a more on a one-on-one, basis. Phil, you're an atheist. You don't need to be a part of a movement. If I want friends, I'll get another hobby or join some lame club. No. It was, I'm not familiar enough with that particular, with the term to be able to represent it fairly from that side. But it was something that I remember that Sam had said in one of his podcasts, where the idea of the new atheists. So I don't understand the movement or that collection of people who are it's. I would not do a very good job steel manning, as opposed to straw manning, steel manning that position. So I don't trust myself to represent it accurately. So. Burb's free speech is the right I respect the strongest. I think another thing that Jordan said in a lot of his approach was really about free speech specifically, was the idea that it's more than a right. It's the way that we discuss rights. It's the way that we actually talk about things and decide on cultural decisions and how we exist with each other. And if you remove free speech, then you remove our ability to function as a culture and as a society with any kind of progression in either direction. And people were not realizing that. So really we're gonna do that thing again that we did last time, where we came up with a really good topic when I had finished and needed to be shutting down the stream. But yeah. Phil, I guess I'm just saying movements seem a bit more forceful for something you don't believe. No, I get what you mean. And like that's just me trying to put a word on it to contextualize it, because I don't have a good enough understanding of what it actually means in terms of saying things like the new atheist. Tyson, we should constantly have people questioning all our morals. It's how we refine ourselves. Yeah, it's the best. I mean, the best way to stop progressing as any group of people is to not allow someone to have their opinion shared. And you don't need free speech protects all the speech, right? If the popular opinions are often the ones that don't need that protection, and so it's important to protect it. Burbs, what Peterson was pointing out was not that free speech was being ruled out, but that it was now being forced to speak certain phrases. It was compelled speech is what his thing was. was the idea, because it's okay to tell someone they can't say something if you, I mean, or it's more acceptable. It's less an intrusion of someone's ability to express themselves to tell them that you should not say that thing, but to tell someone you have to use these words is a definite line, and that's definitely where the issue was coming from him, where he's saying like the idea of you can't tell me to say a thing that I don't want to say, which I absolutely agree with, and I think a lot of people do. Even people who were opposed to the position he was taking, I think they weren't understanding that that's what the main point of it was, which is really tough for me to see, because I feel like he is very articulate about his point and very clear and very and brought people into that perspective. But apparently, yeah. Oh, thanks, Alex. You have a good night, sir. Solitude. Ben, before you go, what podcast are you talking about? Who did Sam speak with? Sam Harris and Jordan Peterson was one of the podcasts. We're referring to a lot of different podcasts currently. Joe Rogan had Jordan Peterson on a few times. There have been a lot that I've been kind of delving into a lot of his work, not just the podcast, but some of his lectures at the University of Toronto. New atheists mainly focus on whether or not God exists, not the philosophical aspect of Christianity. Yeah, I don't have enough of an understanding of that particular what that phrase encompasses to be able to represent it accurately. It is a change by saying you have to say versus you can't say. Yeah, verbs. That's the way, and they changed the way. They changed the way it was phrased in the law, or in the what am I thinking of? The bill that they were proposing, the C-16 or whatever, was the biggest issue was because he was pushing back and saying the way this is going to be interpreted by the lawmakers and by the court system is going to be negative. It's going to cause us to it's being upheld by people who are ideological, and their viewpoint is one that is not open to the idea of free speech, and it moves towards fascism and neo-Marxism, and the whole lot of stuff going on. Way too much for us to actually start talking about when the stream is supposed to be turning off. As much as I enjoy the idea, we do need to shut it off, guys, and I want to talk about this, but I definitely should get some rest. Finish the to-do list that I have tonight, the adult things, in terms of like doing the work that I have. But thank you guys so much for hanging out. And yeah, guys, we need to we need to end it, because I would talk about this. We'd have another 5-hour stream on our hands, and I can't afford to do that right now. So as much let's think about this. Maybe we'll bring it up again on Saturday if the workout ends quickly, and can have some of these deep philosophical talks that would be fun. But for now, I need to get some work done, and I got to finish a couple of things. So thank you guys so much. Thanks for the if you're watching this after the fact, let me know in the comment section what you thought. And I apologize for getting a little spacey. Like I said, I'm getting a little tired, which is a good thing. That means I'm actually hopefully going to be able to go to bed at a decent time tonight, and fix the sleep schedule. But more of these coming. Next stream is going to be Saturday. In the next week or so, we're going to try and move to either dual stream here and on Twitch, but eventually to move towards Twitch, so that I'm not constantly bombarding YouTube subscribers who are not as into this long form media, to give them a different place where they can go. But yeah. All right. So you guys have a wonderful evening or morning or day, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing. I hope it's a good one, and I will talk to you all very soon. Goodbye.